Hello, family and friends. Thank you for tuning in. I want to first off thank you all for listening right now, for being supporters of the podcast, for being people who have been in my ear on my phone, have just been giving me massive love on social media. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. From something that started from scratch with about 5 people hanging out in a bar in Denver about 2 years ago, that's now become a dream in my head with another partner ministry in crime, Janelle Amps Ramsey, this past summer, to dream up of Brew Theology. And so it's pretty intimidating. It's pretty scary when you think about starting a new thing. And so 2017 is here. We don't know what to expect. We don't have any massive goals like, 20 communities launched by March 25th. It's not about that for us. This is simply about seeing where this is headed, seeing what we've done here in Denver, and seeing that this is a bigger dream for the rest of our country. And so I want to specifically speak to 5 different people today who are possibly interested in this, but who are hesitant, who maybe have some concerns or roadblocks or fears, because those are all quite natural. And the first is the person who sees the word brew theology, not the first word brew, but the second word theology. And possibly you get a little bit nervous. You think, I'm not a theologian. I don't know any theologians. I didn't go to seminary. I'm not a pastor. I didn't get a PhD. I'm not even an armchair theologian. And all that's quite all right, because what you have in any of these kind of communities that you form naturally from your city or your town are people across the spectrum. People who possibly are ministry. Maybe they did go to seminary. But many people, specifically here in Denver, from what we have observed and have experienced, they don't have those credentials. They're not pastors. They're not professionals. I believe that we are all theologians. That's people who are simply studying God, or whatever you want to call God. We have a lot of people who are atheists and who are agnostics, and yet they're still studying this consciousness, this divine compassion, this universal sort of sacred origin of love, whatever you want to speak of God. And so for some people, they go, I don't know that many theological topics, and that's where we can kind of come in and help you. But beyond theology, I think that everything is theological. I think that the air that we breathe, the earth that we live on, the beer that we drink, the kids that we parent, the friends that we have. And so what we've done is we've realized that there are theological topics that you possibly would take in seminary or Bible college, or having books that maybe your pastor at church will give you. And we've thought beyond that, social justice issues, politics, things having to do with the environment. And so for us, it's all on the table. Everything is on the table. So don't be scared of the word theology. I get it. It's sort of a nerdy word. It's a fun word, but everything is theological. So don't be scared of that word. The second person is the person who possibly sees what we've done in Denver and has that fear of the copy and paste, because you can't really copy and paste anything. This is not a multi-site ministry. That's not who we are. This is an organic thing that happens in your community. And so you've seen what we've done in Denver, and maybe you're going, I don't know if I can do that. Denver's its own animal. It's its own sort of progressive metro, kind of hippie granola monster, educated and all that. But maybe your town's not that. Maybe you're I don't know. Who knows where you live? Maybe you're in Missouri. Maybe you're in Arkansas, Florida, California, in a small town or a big city. And what we want to do is we want to give you some tools, a skeletal framework. There's a leadership manual and things like that, and we can talk through some of this. Don't copy and paste. I think so often in ministry, we take something and we think, I can replicate that over here. That's not what we want to do, not what we want you to do. There are some things that we think can be helpful for you to take what we've done in Denver, but don't compare what you've seen in Denver, what you've heard from the podcast in Denver, and think that you can do that in your own town. You may, but even in your own town, it's going to look a little different. So don't let that bother you. The third person is the person who doesn't know if they want to be affiliated with Brew Theology. Possibly this is somebody who's in ministry, you're a pastor, maybe you're in a conservative community, a denomination that maybe frown upon what we're doing. I don't know, maybe there's a lot of that probably happens in a lot of communities. While here in Denver, that is beyond me. It doesn't really make sense to me. It makes sense to your world. Well, here's the beauty of Brew Theology. You don't have to adhere to any kind of statement of faith, because we don't have one. You can keep your own. And that's the beauty of what we do, is you keep who you are, what you're about, your creed, if you will, and you just bring that together with other people. And so we don't have any statement of faith. You don't have to sign anything. You can do your own thing. That's great. All right, next is the money. Maybe you're going, I don't have any money. I don't either. I mean, we're not doing this for money. Brew Theology is not about making money for me. So if you want to do this and you look at the partnership number signs and you can't do that, just call me, text me, email me saying, this isn't feasible right now. We can work something out. Think of it as a sliding scale. Again, I want this to be a friendship, a dynamic partnership, not a money-making scheme for me at all. And lastly is the time and the energy. I've got a lot of energy. For those that know me well. I have a ton of energy. You might not have that energy and you might not have that time. Well, guess what? Right now, I've got a newborn and she's sleeping, and I've got a 4-year-old and she's sleeping. I've got a little chunk of time right now that I'm speaking to you. And so I hope that you don't think you have to do it on your own. Let me reiterate that. Let me speak that into you one more time. You don't have to do this on your own. Do it with a team of people. And so I can help you understand the different roles, the different aspects to creating this type of a community beyond just yourself, because you can't do it alone. I would really love for you guys to consider this in your town, in your city, in your community, in your church. brewtheology.org. If you have any questions, please email me at ryan@brewtheology.org, or my partner in crime, Janelle, at brewtheology.org. Peace.